Breaking, HH's Offside, Malanji case exposed. Lungu family vindicated as Mwamba speaks out. Zambia has just been hit with a political earthquake, and this time, it's shaking the foundations of State House itself. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba has dropped a bombshell. New information suggesting that the controversial Malanji case, once used to cripple the Patriotic Front and discredit the Lungu family, may have been built on political manipulation, not justice. And here's where it gets shocking. According to inside reports, even some within the UPND are quietly admitting that President Hakainde Hichilema may have gone offside. The same case that silenced Edgar Lungu's closest allies could now backfire, exposing cracks in the government's anti-corruption narrative. But what exactly did Mwamba reveal? Why is the Lungu family suddenly being vindicated in the public eye? Stay tuned, because the truth behind the Malanji case might just rewrite Zambia's political future. Welcome to InspirAfrica Official, your home for Zambia's most factual and fearless political documentaries. Tonight, we unpack a story that's sending shockwaves across the country, the Malanji case. Once presented as the crown jewel of HH's fight against corruption, this case has suddenly turned into a political minefield. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba has publicly questioned the credibility of the prosecution and called out what he describes as selective justice, a move that not only shakes confidence in the UPND's integrity but also breathes new life into the Lungu family's image. Could this be the moment the narrative shifts from guilt to vindication? And if so, what does this mean for Zambia's political balance heading into 2026? Let's break down the timeline, the evidence, and the reactions, starting with the shocking claims that triggered this entire debate. The Malanji case, once hailed as a major breakthrough in Zambia's anti-corruption fight, is now under fire. Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba has released shocking statements that suggest President Hakainde Hichilema's administration may have gone offside in its handling of the case. In this exclusive breakdown, we explore how this revelation could vindicate the Lungu family, expose deep cracks in the justice system, and reshape Zambia's political future ahead of 2026. Watch till the end for a full analysis and what this could mean for the opposition and the ruling UPND. Subscribe to InspirAfrica Official for factual, balanced, and in-depth Zambian political documentaries. The Bombshell, HH caught offside? Zambia's political atmosphere has exploded with tension, not over an election or a public protest, but over a courtroom revelation that's shaking the very foundations of power. At the center of this storm stands one man, Joseph Malanji, the former Foreign Affairs Minister under the late Edgar Lungu, whose corruption case has suddenly taken a shocking new turn. For years, Malanji's name has been used as a symbol of what President Hakainde Hichilema's government called justice in motion. The UPND-led administration painted his arrest and prosecution as part of its fierce anti-corruption drive, proof that no one, not even former ministers, was untouchable. But now, a completely different picture is emerging, one that could change how Zambians view justice itself. Former Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba, a seasoned diplomat and longtime insider, has stepped forward with claims that could shake both State House and the judiciary. Speaking with measured conviction, Mwamba revealed that the Malanji case may have been politically engineered, a calculated move designed not to punish corruption but to cripple the Patriotic Front and destroy the legacy of Edgar Lungu. This was never about justice, Mwamba declared. It was about destroying the image of Edgar Lungu's government and silencing the Patriotic Front. His statement, now spreading like wildfire across social media and talk shows, has reopened old wounds and ignited new suspicions. Could the courts have been used as political tools? Did the state push prosecutors to ensure Malanji's downfall, regardless of evidence? For many Zambians, Mwamba's words cut deep, because if they're true, then what's at stake isn't just Malanji's reputation. It's the credibility of Zambia's entire justice system. And that, more than anything, is what makes this revelation truly explosive. The Malanji case Unpacked, a political chess game. To understand this storm, we need to rewind. When Joseph Malanji was arrested in 2022, the UPND government celebrated it as a victory for the rule of law. The message was clear: no one, not even former ministers, was above accountability. But critics quickly noticed inconsistencies. Malanji's assets were seized before trial. Bank accounts were frozen without clear warrants. And key witnesses, according to Mwamba, were coached to fit a certain narrative. Even more suspicious, several legal experts, including members of the Law Association of Zambia, quietly questioned why some evidence against Malanji appeared circumstantial, Yet the prosecution pressed on. As months passed, Malanji's case became more of a political spectacle than a legal proceeding. And now, with Mwamba's statement, the puzzle pieces seem to fit together, painting a picture of targeted justice meant to bury PF's legacy under the weight of scandal. Mwamba speaks out. This was a setup. The political temperature in Zambia just soared to new heights after Emmanuel Mwamba's explosive press briefing, one that's now dominating headlines and sparking fierce debate across the nation. Standing before cameras, the former diplomat and staunch Patriotic Front (PF) figure didn't mince his words. This was a setup, Mwamba declared, his tone sharp and unwavering. Malanji was framed. The charges were built on political convenience, not on evidence. According to Mwamba, the fight against corruption has been hijacked, turned from a noble cause into a political weapon used to humiliate and dismantle the legacy of Edgar Lungu and his loyalists. He alleged that investigators were pressured to act on orders from above, a phrase that many immediately linked to State House itself. But the shock didn't stop there. Mwamba hinted at an international angle, suggesting that foreign intelligence networks may have played a role in influencing the probe, a claim that adds a new, darker layer to the already controversial case. Now, the nation is left asking hard questions. Was the Malanji prosecution truly about fighting corruption, or was it about clearing the political field before the 2026 elections? Lungu family vindicated. The truth always comes out. For months, the Lungu family has endured what many called a political storm, a barrage of arrests, investigations, and relentless media scrutiny. From former First Lady Esther Lungu to her daughter Tassila, and loyal allies like Makibi Zulu and Joseph Malanji, the family's name became synonymous with controversy. But now, following Emmanuel Mwamba's explosive statement, the tide appears to be turning. Insiders close to the family describe a sense of quiet vindication, a feeling that their long silence has finally been rewarded. "We said from the beginning this wasn't about justice," one source reportedly said. "It was political revenge disguised as anti-corruption." Supporters across Zambia are echoing this sentiment, flooding social media with hashtags like #JusticeForTheLungus and #TruthPrevails. They argue that Mwamba's claims expose a deeper political game, one meant to cripple anyone still loyal to Edgar Lungu ahead of 2026. Within PF circles, strategists are already seizing the moment. Plans are reportedly underway to rebuild the party's public image around a new narrative, that of resilience, persecution, and eventual vindication. For them, Mwamba's words aren't just a defense, they're the spark of a political comeback. The bigger picture: what does this mean for 2026? The timing couldn't be more critical. With the 2026 general elections on the horizon, the Malanji case could become a turning point in Zambia's political narrative. If Mwamba's claims gain traction, and if further evidence surfaces showing interference or fabrication, UPND's anti-corruption crusade could lose moral credibility overnight. And for HH, who built much of his reputation on integrity and reform, that would be politically devastating. Already, opposition leaders are calling for an independent review of the Malanji investigation. Civil society groups are demanding transparency, while ordinary Zambians flood social media with one question: if Malanji was framed, who's next? Meanwhile, PF insiders are quietly strategizing. They see this as a golden opportunity to rebrand themselves as victims of injustice, using the narrative to rally grassroots supporters disillusioned by UPND's governance. But beneath all the noise lies one undeniable truth: Zambia's democracy stands at a crossroads. Whether this revelation exposes corruption in the courts or manipulation by politicians, the nation's trust in justice is once again being tested. And as Mwamba himself put it, the truth has a strange way of surviving, no matter how deeply it's buried. The Malanji case may have started as a legal battle, but it's now a political time bomb. With HH's image under scrutiny and the Lungu family sensing redemption, Zambia could be heading toward one of its most heated and unpredictable election seasons yet. Because in Zambian politics, no secret stays buried forever.